we're going to do kind of an AI tech roundup of a ton of major updates from some leading tools and technologies, and then kind of talk through these. So I'm going to run through them all and then kind of get your thoughts on them, Paul. So first up, OpenAI is adding advanced features to the free version of ChatGPT, including the ability to get responses from the web, analyze data, use images, use files, and access GPTs. These are all features previously only available to ChatGPT paid users. And OpenAI is also formally relaunching its robotics team, which it had previously shut down. AI search startup Perplexity is also in talks to raise about $250 million at a $3 billion valuation. And they just released a new feature called Perplexity Pages. And this generates entire shareable pages on any topic from the searches and the research you do with Perplexity. Meta is considering a paid version of its AI assistant called Meta AI. The assistant would just be a more advanced version of the currently free assistant available right now. And according to some reporting out there, the company is now confirmed to be actively developing AI agents. With Anthropic, they have announced that Claude can now use tools by interacting with external services and APIs. And Anthropic is making waves by hiring Jan Lakey, who is a leading AI researcher we talked about recently, who left OpenAI's super alignment team. Lakey will lead a new super alignment team within Anthropic. IBM, who we haven't mentioned in a while, had its annual Think conference and announced a number of new AI updates, including a new class of its Watson X AI assistants, including several new coding assistants. They announced something called IBM Concert, which is a new Gen AI tool that gives you AI-driven insights across a client's portfolio of apps. And IBM also announced that it is open sourcing its Granite family of language and code models. Fable Studios has formally started to release Showrunner, which is an AI app that you can use to generate your own AI TV shows from prompts. And last but not least, popular AI music generation tool Suno has released version 3.5, which allows you to make up to 4-minute long songs. So, Paul, maybe first talk to me about, did any of these updates really stand out to you the most?
Yeah, so the robotics one with OpenAI is interesting. That was one of their big bets early on, in the early days of the research lab when they weren't sure what direction they were going to go. They ran into the limitations of the hardware side, but also just the lack of intelligence. So, the language models have enabled us to now embody the intelligence within the robots. We talked about this in episode 87 and some of the other episodes. They've got a deal with Figure, which is one of the big robotics companies where they're basically embodying ChatGPT within the robot. You're going to see the same thing with Optimus from Tesla. They're going to embody Grok, which is we'll talk about Grok in a minute, but Grok is the language model that'll be embedded within Optimus. And I assume, hope that also probably very near future, Grok will be embedded within Teslas. So you have an intelligent assistant in your car. So that's interesting that OpenAI is going to kind of move back not only into doing deals where they're going to embed their intelligence into other people's robots, but maybe build their own. Anthropic, don't sleep on the idea of tool use. That is a huge play. OpenAI is pursuing it. Every research lab is pursuing it. We will probably hear about that with the Apple conference, although they probably won't refer to it that way. But being able to access different apps on your phone to use them as tools to complete activities is something that everyone is working on. So Anthropic doing that is one of the key unlocks to the next generation of language models. The showrunner stuff from Fable, if you haven't
Yeah.
seen that, that's some crazy stuff, man. I think we talked about that last year when it first came out. They did that demo with South Park where they created an episode of South Park and they trained it on like 1,000+ characters and all these scenes and everything. But their vision for the future is personalized shows. So instead of Netflix, where you go in and pick an existing show, you'll go in and just say, I want to watch something like themed kind of like a Harry Potter, but I want it to be set in, the Lord of the Rings land. And I want these kinds of characters and like go, and it'll just like build you a show. So it's this idea of like personalized content on demand, but like long form entertainment. And then the other thing is they envision this as a way to train AGI, but these characters can
Mm.
live within these environments and interact with each other and learn from each other. And that this is actually a path to achieving AGI because the agents live within an environment where they're learning their physical surroundings. And it's crazy. So, yeah, that's one of those that I would go spend a little time if you're interested in this stuff, um, looking at Showrunner and Fable Studios. It's pretty wild.
Yeah, and just as a connecting the dots moment there on episode 86 in early March, we talked about kind of how one of the main topics was how AI was going to maybe threaten creators. And in that, I believe it was Netflix, and Netflix executive was like, look, this is an existential threat to what we do, this
Yeah.
exact type of thing of people being able to generate their own content that could be where Netflix themselves goes as well.
Yeah, I would think this company will get acquired by like a Netflix or a Disney or somebody like that.
Yeah.
I think like we don't talk as much about it, on the like the big movie studios and production companies, but like Disney's working on this stuff too. There's no way they're
Mhm.
not. And but imagine being able to do this with licensed Disney characters. So, be able to create your
Yeah.
own, episodes, spin-offs of popular movies and shows and things like that. So yeah, I think it's reasonable to assume that the future of entertainment is gonna be you creating your own personalized shows that you could then share with people if you wanted to. Like so maybe I create a whole, series of stuff. It's kind of like I didn't even think about this before. It's like the Roblox for entertainment. So where you
Yeah.
can go into Roblox and create your own games and share them. I think you're going to be able to do that with content like this. We're doing it with songs. You're going to be able to do it with shows.
Yeah.
Everything's going to be consumer generated through prompts, and then you can keep it to yourself or you can share it out.